Since Dragon Ball Z Kakarot just finally released a while ago, I felt it would be necessary to review one of my favorite Dragon Ball franchise games, and that being Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure. So, without further ado... So to go on ahead and start, Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure was slated for release in Japan on November 18th of 2004. I find that fucking comical since that was a day after my birthday when I turned like 4. I don't know how like the time zones and like time difference worked in Japan to here, but let's just say I was like turning 4 years old like after that day. The game was released on the Game Boy Advance, and if you could not tell that due to the damn title of the game, you really need some help. But down here, the game did not release until June 17th of 2006. Why the fuck did this game come out so late after it did in Japan? I mean, isn't Dragon Ball Z special down here? It should be, right? I mean, like back in 2006, Dragon Ball Z was like the pinnacle of all anime back then. I don't know what to say. I'm a little perplexed. Like, people should have been gushing when this game came out. Especially like down there in Japan. That game should have been selling like hotcakes down here. That much aside, the game was pretty well received with the scoring. It was pretty neutral. It didn't appeal to many reviewers. The group that developed the game, however, was Dimps, and they would go on to make super awesome game titles such as Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3, which was released on the PS2, Sonic Rush on the DS, and Sonic Generations on 3DS, when you don't know how to ask for the right Christmas gift. And I will say this, the game is obscure as hell. This game didn't really shine back in those days, like I said previously, but about it being really neutral in the review department, I guess no one really gave a shit when this game released. Kinda like, oh man, Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure looks nice. Man, how about I go on ahead and cuff this copy of Sonic Advance 3 for the GBA real quick. You know, I need my blue blur Sonic the Hedgehog. If I'm fairly honest, I actually would have bought Sonic Advance 3 over that. But I didn't think I thought straight like back then. I don't fucking know. But if I'm fairly honest, I can understand why this game didn't blow up like it did, because if I'm honest, that same year, Budokai 3 came out and stole the spotlight from all the titles all around that same year, and it sold like hotcakes better than any Dragon Ball Z title that year. Hell, this game is so obscure you can't even find development history on the game. Just kind of wish more people could have enjoyed the game the same way I did, because it's actually really good, believe it or not. Speaking of the game being good, let's talk about the gameplay. This game is a 2D platformer beat-em-up, my favorite kind of platformer. This game moves so smooth that it's almost terrifying, and granted, I played this through an emulator, and I would not know any better, so, you know, I got that high-end PC, can't fucking run fucking anything on it, except for fucking... I mean, the copy I had as a kid, I flipped it for a pack of Juicy Fruit back when I was a kid. It was a good-ass game. It was a good-ass pack of Juicy Fruit, too, not gonna lie to you. Some bomb-ass Juicy Fruit. The game covers the entirety of Dragon Ball up into the ultimate demise of King Piccolo. Now, the game starts off a little slow, because you're literally at the start of the game, so you're pretty much doing borderline useless shit up until you beat Pilaf for the first time. The level design for the game is almost on the level of a Metroidvania. And that's speaking something. There are so many different places you can go that's condensed into one level. You can find all sorts of stuff ranging from power-ups, health upgrades, and one of my many favorite concepts in the game, key upgrades. When you get to Fire Mountain, Master Roshi will teach you the Kamehameha. But since your fucking Kamehameha radiates such small dick energy, you're gonna have to level it up throughout each stage. Your key gauge is used for two different uses. You have your Kamehameha, and you have this power pole attack, which is good for attacking surrounding enemies. And you have this weird, like, multi-hit attack that you can do by pressing the L trigger once it's, like, charged or fully charged, or charged to any level once you max it out. It's really good. So overall, Goku has some good arsenal on his hands, and at this point, all to worry about is the god-awful amount of pitfalls. Since these levels are condensed but have multiple areas you can try and look for, places you haven't checked out for more upgrades and special finds and stuff can probably be on maybe a first floor of a two-story level. Now, you can't really tell when an area is a two-story level or not because you don't have a map of any sorts to tell you this information, but usually you'll think that, hey, there's an upgrade down here, let's check it out. So, you're going to wind up jumping down, and you're going to wind up losing a life over it, and I'm going to be honest, Pitfalls aren't as bad as it was in Super Castlevania 4, and that's speaking volumes, because God knows Pitfalls were like my demise back in Super Castlevania 4, that fucking review. Oh my Jesus Christ, I fucking hate that game. But this isn't anything that'll happen often, but sometimes you just kind of fall inside every now and then, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Some boss fights in the game are just fucking hard, but I always found myself getting past them one way or another. I mean, I wouldn't say they're like super duper really hard, but they're hard enough to make you like look at the fucking screen and be like, well shit, that wasn't hard, but I mean, I sure as hell do suck dick at this game. I might want to get good at it. But with the ease of spamming my Kamehameha or using the power pole for a quick finish, I saw myself skimming past each boss fight. Now, there are certain boss fights in the game that are a little challenging, per se, because it takes some actual thinking and fucking required skills. Like, when you fight, like, the Blue Devil, you can't just fucking dive kick, because you'll fucking die. You'll fall into the pitfall in the middle of the stage. I don't know. I mean, that one wasn't particularly hard. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you suck at the game, it's going to be hard. I don't know. I don't suck. I'm a master gamer. And I love playing Fortnite. But I forgot to mention, there are some stages that will be one-on-one fights. And speaking of one-on-one fights, I'm going to go on and talk about that. One-on-one mode is granted at the beginning of the game, and you can unlock more characters as you play, like Krillin, Tien, Tao, and King Piccolo. And I don't know what other characters you can play because I refuse to do research on this game. I did like very minuscule research on this game. Now, I will say this. The one-on-one mode is beautiful. It is stellar. When I play the game, when I play one-on-one mode, it feels like I'm playing an actual fighting game. But the only problem is that you can cheese just about every fight that requires one-on-one mode, and I'm not joking. There's a parry system that allows you a single frame of attack, and I will say it really helps out with certain fights, because let's say you're getting attacked, and as you get attacked, the more you get attacked, the more your green rush gauge depletes. With using that parry allows you a single frame where your rush gauge does not deplete. And with me saying that now, doing that allows you to literally cheese just about every fight that requires one-on-one mode. There really isn't a lot I can go onto one-on-one mode because there wasn't really a lot that they did with it. Granted that the game was so mixed in the review department, there wasn't a lot of content to digest with the game. I mean, if you want to get collectible items, go for it, but in terms of just main content, instead of just side operatives you want to do and stuff, Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure really does not have that kind of option. One thing I kind of wish they put in was maybe a World Tournament mode, since, let's be honest, the Dragon Ball franchise is absolutely nothing without a tournament arc, since we had like 4 of those throughout the entire series, and the entirety of Dragon Ball Super so far, from my personal observation, has been nothing but a tournament arc. But with putting a tournament mode in the game, it gives you a little more extra something to do, you know, playing the game over and over again and losing over and over again. It gives you something to kind of munch on while you're just kind of sitting down on the shitter and you just so happen to have your Game Boy in your hand and you're like, wow, man, I could really play some Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure tournament mode right now. You could play it. It works. But speaking of playing a game over again, let's go on ahead and discuss about playing as Krillin. So I'll go on ahead and make this brief since there isn't a whole lot I can really talk about on this matter. As soon as you beat the game, you can play the game as Krillin. So any of these red doors that you see in the beginning of the game are now open and you can... hey there. A bit of a post-editor's note, which I actually wanted to go on ahead and clear up a little bit, but since it needed to be said. So, I actually lied. Those red doors are not open, and the Krillin gameplay you are seeing now was actually last minute, and I recorded that Krillin gameplay footage, and shut the hell up, phone, thank you. Anyway, like I was saying before we were rudely interrupted, I actually lied. Those red doors are not open at all, and to be fairly honest, I was quite shocked myself because I just flat out assumed that those doors would be open. Now, you could say, Velvet, this is very unsportsmanlike of a review that you are making of a game that no one could really give less of a shit about, and I have to say to that, well, the game's pretty nice, you should play it, and blah, 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 this, that, and the third, and whatever, but I do sincerely do apologize for that, and spreading misinformation about a game that I only played, like, once, and I didn't want to play again, or do any more double research on, but, I goofed, right? Get them. These doors do not have anything special in them but little extra goodies you can view in the extra mode. Once you get all of them, you can find and unlock more secrets, like you'll be able to play as Yamcha, which I did not find out because why would I have to invest so much time into a game that I'm emulating? Let's be honest, it's not really worth it. But if I'm fairly honest, I will say this much. The game has a lot to offer because I checked out what other things that were in the game, and there is a lot of fucking content with this game. I'm not gonna lie to you. I won't, actually, no, not even content. There's a lot of stuff that you can get in this game that require... I didn't think there'd be so many playable characters. Only thought you could play as, like, Krillin. But you can play as Yamcha, too. In conclusion, would I recommend the game? And to that, I say, of course I do. The game is great, and it's a really good way to kill some time or just to beat some ass whenever you feel like it. But hey, check this out, and check this word from our sponsors, man. From Raid Shadow... Oh wait! Oh no! I wasn't trying to sponsor Raid. Hold up! It's okay. Wait! Don't put the gun down, please! Anyway, just get him cleaned up, and if his family asks what happened to him, just direct them to me, and I'll take care of it. Don't even worry about it. Man, I swear to God, that's fucking people, I tell you. But anyway, back to recommending the game. But yes, I heavily recommend this game. It's got a good soundtrack, good gameplay, and halfway decent replayability, if I'm fairly honest. I mean, what's so fun about playing as Yamcha? I don't know, fucking know. But anyway, this is Velvet Groove, and I'm signing out. Hey there, boys and girls, this is Velvet Groove with a post editor's note. I know that I have not uploaded in quite a bit, and I'm pretty sure it's been about a few weeks, probably running up close on to a month. And I just wanted to sincerely apologize that. I know I have been saying, I'm sorry, I'll upload more, and I'll do this, that, and the third, and not deliver. And I know it's pretty frustrating to hear that shit, so I just wanted to make you guys know, since I only have 15 seconds on the outro, it was only 15 seconds, or I could just go on ahead and make the outro a little longer. What I wanted to say is that, thank you. I wanted to do more reviews, and thank you all for waiting for so long. And it's Velvet Groove, and I'm signing out. Again.